Uh, so last thing we talked about humility last week, which was what we ended last week, was said that there's a need to not to make our gate narrow, right? We should be open, not to be narrow. We should be not narrow-minded, be open-minded. Not narrow-minded, be open-minded. And one of that happened during the week. One of our customers wants a particular type of cucumber. They call it seedless cucumber. Unfortunately, it's not in the market right now. The seed's not in the market right now, but we're willing to do that for her. We have one of our major departmental store that wants some two type of products. We're willing and open to farm it for them. We have some eateries that might want some specific requirements. We're willing and open to farm for them, right? We're a commercial farm. We're about making the money, right? We're open. For as long as there's money in it, for as long as it's profitable for us, we're going to go into it because we're in here to make money, right? Yeah. 2024, we make 20 times our revenue of 2023. 2025 year, we're targeting to make 10 to 20 times our revenue in 2024. And we're well on our way to doing that, right? But that is going to come by being open-minded, not closed-minded. Open-minded, not closed-minded, right? Open-minded to opportunities, right? For as long as we can handle it, we're not going to bite more than we can chew. We're going to be mindful that we never bite more than we can chew. As we open up to opportunities, it'll be a controlled open up. We will never extend ourselves in such a way that if we miss our step will be taken out of the game. It will always be a cautious being open-minded. We will always be sure that we have our back covered. We will never bite more than we can chew, yet we will be open-minded in a controlled fashion. That's important. That's important. The other thing we're going to that's important to be able to have a high performance is the need to be ambitious. Ambitious, which is probably goes with the last point we talked about. You need to seek for great things. Seek for great things. Making 20 times what we made in 2023, 2024 still kept us below the range where we needed to pay tax, because that's a number that if you don't go above as a company, you don't need to pay company tax. But we could say, hey, all right, let's stay below that number so we never pay tax. That's what some people do. It's a trap. You remain in the poverty bracket. But no, we ain't going to do that. We're going to go still further. We're going to make 10, 20 times what we made last year, which will put us in the realm, in the band where we need to pay tax. We're not going to be a prisoner to poverty because of tax. We're going to pay tax. We're going to pay our due. We're excited about paying tax because we enjoy the benefit of tax. Now, whether we even enjoy or don't enjoy it, that is another discussion for another day, where that's not our responsibility. It's the law of the land. We're not going to stay away from doing whatever it is that is legal obligation for us. No, we would, because of that, entrap ourselves in a poverty bracket. We would do whatever it takes, but we'll go for the greater things. We will not remain small. We don't want to remain small. We want to be big, want to be heard, want to cause our name to be heard far and near across the oceans, right? We're not small. we're big, we're big, we're big, we're big, and we're going to live up to that, right? So if you're going to perform at a high level, you must seek for big things. You must seek to grow. Seek to be better than you were yesterday. Don't be too carried away by your yesterday's success. Oh, we did well yesterday. Oh, we did well. We have arrived. That's stupid, because yesterday will soon catch up with you, right? So they are driven by strong desire to help the organizational succeed. So succeed, to help the organization succeed. That's where a high performer is. The story behind the performance is it's important to have a story behind the performance. Why are you doing it? I'd said some time ago, one of the reasons why we do our company is to change lives. That's a driving mission for what we do. It's not just to make money. The money is good, no doubt, but we're doing it to change lives. First of all, to change the life of those that work for us, to change life for our host community, to change life for people in diaspora, beyond our immediate environment, right? But we do it to change lives. That's why we treat everyone that comes to work for us as a human being. We'll give whatever consideration we can within the limit of what we make and what we have to take care of them. Even when we're not making money, nobody working for us has ever missed a salary, even when we did not have any income, right? So that's important to us. That's why we exist, right? We exist to change lives, to make lives better. That's why we make money. That's the story behind what we do. And there's no limit to how much we can make to do that, because there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of work to be done in the community where we exist. We need to make a lot of money to do that, to make that impact. And even when we're done with the community where we exist, there are other communities to touch. There are my alma mater schools to touch. There's just so much work to be done, that we need a lot of money. And there's no money that's going to be enough for the amount of work we can do to impact humanity, right? That's why we exist. That's our own story. That's why we put our energy to do all of this. And guess what? As we're wet also, we will be wet also. I'm not stupid, and I'm not going to deceive you. As much as we do all of this, I will not be ashamed to enjoy from the benefit of what we make, to drive the best car, to do whatever it is that's going to make me happy as part of my journey, my pilgrimage in this life, right? I am not going to hold back in doing that as well. Just as much as we want to bless others, we also want our own lives to be changed for the better, right? So it's having the right mindset, having the right motivation, having the right value, knowing the things that fall in, the things that don't fall in the right standard, and using that as a basis for our performance. That's important. So talking about ambition, Vince Lombardi would say that if winning isn't everything, why do we keep scores? The reason why we keep scores is because we want to win. We want to win, want to be better. The reason I can easily tell you that our 2024 result was 20 times our 2023 result is because I keep the scores. The scores are important to me. The numbers are important to me. Also, I'm an engineer. Numbers matter to me, right? We keep the scores, right? For a good reason. We keep the scores for a good reason, right? We keep the scores for a good reason. It's because we want to win. We want to win. We want to be better today than we were yesterday. So if we did 20 times in 2024, we want to at a minimum do that same 20 times this year. But we said 10 to 20 times because it's a bigger volume, right? But we're going to shoot for that 20 times. That's what we're going to do for, and even do better than that. We won't mind if we do better than that, but we need to be reasonable and practicable also. So that's why we've given ourselves a 10 to 20 times this year of what we had last year, right? So big results require big ambitions. If you want to have big results, you must be ambitious towards it. You must be looking forward for it. And we're looking forward for it, and we have different opportunities that present themselves. We're working on when and if those opportunities close, it'll be easy to meet all our targets and exceed them. So there are things we're chasing to make what we're looking for a reality. It's not a mere wish. We're working at it. We're working at it.